Hey there, Marina Ormes here with your Astro Vibe for Friday, March 10th. Thank you so much for being here with me. We've had some in-depth videos this week and a lot going on with the full moon, Saturn going into Pisces, and we now have lots of Pisces energy happening because Neptune has been in Pisces since 2011. Now with Saturn joining Neptune in Pisces, we have not only an enhancement of the Pisces energy, which some of the keywords are love, unconditional love, spirit, divine, surrender. So, some of these really esoteric themes, psychic energy and sensitivity, things that can't be explained, being in the great ocean of being. And so some of that bigger flow of energy, of life, of love, of the most intangible things that life has to offer. And so sometimes it's hard to talk about the intangible by definition. But what we've got going on today is the moon still in Libra. We'll be in Libra until between 4 and 5 p.m. my time, Pacific time. So it'll be shifting into Scorpio, which is taking us deeper into a place of mystery with even less ability to explain and understand and talk about things over the weekend. So going into some of that scorpionic mystery, feeling, energy, deepening of trust and intimacy, but also the potential for feeling things deeply and for a little bit of mystery and chaos thrown in there. So we're kind of finishing up the energy of the moon being in Libra today, thinking about themes of relationship, partnership, collaboration, having somebody else there to talk things through with, to have a relationship, partnership with a friend, colleague, even a stranger, as well as our, most intimate romantic partners. And with that energy of partnership and thinking about balance, thinking about what it means to be you and how you need to bring your part of the balance and your part of the equation. So a relationship, any relationship, is not whole or complete without you participating in it. So if you are overly compromising or backing down to let the other person call the shots, take up space, say how it's going to be, then it's not really balanced. So letting yourself show up, letting yourself speak your truth, take up space, and all those good things. We were talking about that yesterday. Of course, I had videos earlier this week going in depth on some of the changes that we are in the midst of. The Virgo full moon this week brought a significant development of helping us see how to ground and bring things into form. Saturn going into Pisces also brings a shift of energy for the next couple, 2-3 years even. And so what all of that means, you can check out videos from earlier this week to review that. And then today we are thinking about and looking at how to be resilient with all of this change going on. And so there are more changes to come. Pluto is currently in the final degree of Capricorn, and I'll say too that I have covered this in some of my previous videos. Check out the 2023 playlist for more information about Pluto in the final degree of Capricorn and Saturn in the final degree of Aquarius, which of course now it is in Pisces. But just kind of change is afoot, and change is present especially when we experience these outer planets in the final degree of a sign. Really kind of saying, okay, here we go, folks. We are really wrapping up the work that we have been doing in this particular energy, this vibrational field, this area of life. this theme, this quality, and we're going to be shifting to a new one. So, what do we need to be aware of that we haven't completed yet, or that we're going to be carrying forward as an unresolved theme or issue? So some chaos, some transitions, sometimes some unfolding events that may be reminding us of what is changing and what we are still working on. So then as these planets shift into new signs, it brings a qualitative shift in how we experience things. So again, I've been talking about this, but with Saturn going from Aquarius to Pisces, we're going from themes of sort of freedom and equality and vision for the future and thinking about technology and bigger picture problem solving, to Pisces, which is more about how we are going to make the world a better place, a more loving place. And so some of those themes of caring and compassion and thinking about the whole, the big picture, humanity, how we can create more of a container of love for all humanity, and some of those really big themes. Okay, so resilience. And one thing to keep in mind is that we are not only talking about what's going on in the news and current events, because we'll see these qualitative themes showing up in the kinds of things that are happening in the world, but these are also qualitative themes that we experience as individuals in our own lives and our own self-care. So with Saturn going into Pisces, there is a need to intentionally, consciously kind of steer or drive the way that we experience and connect with a bigger spiritual picture. So the need for discipline in our spiritual practices, the need for earning the experience of unconditional love, and to participate in a feeling of responsibility of bringing that unconditional love to the planet, of embodying caring and compassion, and having a sense of responsibility for how we create that for all beings. So there is some work and some effort required there. It can be a heavy feeling, and you might be feeling the weight of the responsibility of these things. And so resilience and self-care means it's important for you as an individual to not take on more than you are meant to as an individual. So you're not meant to solve all of the suffering in the world. That's not, what is it, 8-9 billion. How many how many people do we have on the planet? Anyway, you are not responsible for all of their suffering, right? However, you are responsible for being the best you can be. And so it's kind of keeping in mind what that balance looks like, what it means for you. And that's something that may evolve and unfold in your awareness, in your understanding and how you take care of yourself. But as you do the work of evolving and unfolding, one thing to think about is, what can I do, and where do I need to have boundaries around my own expectations of myself? So in other words, not saying, not feeling like it's useless because you can't solve all the suffering that is in the world, but instead saying, here's what I can do. And if you were to imagine every one of those people doing what they can do, then just imagine, like, it's unfathomable what we could be capable of if each one of us was doing our own little part to better ourselves and to make our little corner of the world better in the ways that are right for us to participate in. And the point is, don't feel like you have to do everything, but do remember that what you do is meaningful and important, and it makes a difference. So come back to what can I do? What are the tangible steps and the ways that I can embody the things that are important to me in the world? So thinking about what's important to you. Is it that, a marginalized group becomes more empowered? Is it that we as human beings get some better systems and structures for how we operate? Is it having making a difference in some political situations? All of it makes a difference. So find what is meaningful to you and then ask yourself how you're going to do it. Maybe you're already doing it. And so recognize that, go, hey, look, here's what I already do in my daily life that is at least not making the problems bigger or is doing what I can to, from my own skills and experience, make a positive impact. A little, a ripple in the pond is a ripple in the pond. It can add up with other ripples, and that's all that you need to expect of yourself. Okay, so talking about resilience. So I would say, first of all, take care of yourself if you are feeling that sense of overwhelm. We should kind of expect that to come up sometimes, the feeling of the bigness of the issues and challenges, and to have a strategy for taking care of yourself when you feel that way. Do you need a deep breath and just to remind yourself that you're doing what you can? Do you need to connect with another person, to get some perspective on, here's how I'm participating. Here's how I'm choosing to live my life. Maybe here's one thing that I want to change or do better at, and that's tangible and actionable, and I can do that. And then it becomes a work in progress. Like, I'm moving toward this way of being that will feel better to me. So making it doable, being kind to yourself. I cannot emphasize that enough. Like, the way that you are kind to yourself is a reflection of you, the way that you want there to be kindness in the world. So the kindness that you want in the world needs to start with how you are kind to yourself. So if you need to lower your expectations, make them realistic, make them doable, and acknowledge to yourself what you are doing. So that is how we are going to earn the ability to manifest the things we dream about. And dreams are very Piscean, and Saturn is very hardcore reality. And so it wants us to earn it. We have to work for it. We have to put in the effort. And so you are earning your place in the ability to make a difference in the world, and earning the ability to manifest your dreams. And it's bite-sized pieces, not everything all at once, but one step at a time. And what can you do now from where you are now, right? The puzzle piece. If you missed my video from earlier this week, thinking about, I think it was on Tuesday with the full moon, when I was talking about how you're putting together a 1,000-piece puzzle, and you have to do, like, you can only focus on the piece that you're working on right now, right? If you try and imagine the whole thing, and there's no way I can have the whole thing done, it just is impossible. But it is very possible when you think about it one little piece at a time. So think about your life that way. Think about what you're doing and what you can do and what you might want to do differently, or how you, even if you don't do anything differently, how you can take care of yourself better, be more kind to yourself, and start there. So resilience means and really the ability to live a life that is more loving, that is more participatory in a loving world, means your ability to start with loving yourself. So it's always a good place to start. and asking yourself, how can you love yourself more in this moment? How can you take care of yourself? How can you start with, letting go of what you thought it was supposed to be or how you thought it was supposed to go, so that you can be present with what is. And in that process, forgive yourself for not knowing what you didn't know. And in that space, allow yourself to be available for the things that you can do. It's always interesting, with all this Pisces energy to try and talk about these things, but hopefully I am touching on some things that are meaningful and giving you some ideas. So I'd love to hear what you think. What are you doing for resilience for yourself? And of course, starting with taking care of yourself is what allows you to make a difference, more of a positive impact in the needs that the world has. So yeah, let me know how that is showing up for you. I'd love to hear what you think. And thank you so much for subscribing and for all of your support. I'm Marina Ormes. You can learn more about me at astrologyheals.com. I do chart readings, and I can help you work with the energy of your chart, with the energy of what is happening with the planets currently, and how to make the most of that to actualize your highest potential, your best life, and to make the most out of what is happening, and get the most loving approaches for yourself from what we can see in the astrology. All right, so astrologyheals.com for more information. Thank you again for being here. I will see you next time. Happy Scorpio weekend, Scorpio moon weekend. Bye for now.